Hey there. So today I want to return to the wonderful world of entertainment. And as I've said many, many times, there are people out there that make this world entertaining, but for all the wrong reasons. Now, this conversation, I thought that it particularly highlighted who and what you're dealing with out there. You know, there's going to be a little bit of spinoff that I'm going to show you from it, but essentially, I want you to pay attention to a certain portion out here. It starts about right here. I'm going to add everything in context just to give it to you, and you'll notice Ron come in as well. Now, the reason that I want to look at this is twofold. Number one, I want to showcase how people out there, how they define terms like sexual harassment. Because when you think about the Vic situation, I mean, you truly sit down and think about what folks have said and what they've tried to attach to the guy. That's one of the big claims. That's one of the things that has tried to knock him out of life and livelihood, to knock him out of the con game and on. So when you see how these people define that, you'll see that the way you define it, you know, people out there that are, you know, looking at this stuff as a particularly heinous crime, when you look at it versus the way that these folks look at it, yeah, it's much different. Also, I want you to pay particular attention to folk like Ron. Why? Because, well, when you look at what he does in this, he shows you how petty and vindictive he is. When you're dealing with petty, vindictive people, you know, when people don't like you and they'll go to any level to try to destroy. Well, again, attach that to the Vic situation. You know, a few of these people have still pretended that they liked Vic, but by and large, many of these people have revealed who and what they are. They have told you that they never really liked that guy. And I mean, when you think about that, when you think about that in context and you think about what they would do to people they don't like, well, you get a perfect example here. They try to ruin. They try to destroy. They will do anything, not only to be right, but to put you in your place. And anyone that would do that, yeah, they showcase who and what they are very, very clearly. So this, it starts out, and I'm going to showcase this too in its totality. I want to show all of it. Why? Because if I don't, you know, there's always those claims of, you're just making up things. You're showing that out of sequence. You're trying to make these people look bad. No, they make themselves look bad on their own. So it starts out here talking about the Jamie Marshy GoFundMe. You have someone that's bringing up the idea that it needs to be reported to ensure proper investigation. You know, a GoFundMe is clearly not paying attention. You know, people have reported it there. So, you know, if this is a charity scam, people actually want that brought up. I understand that too, to be honest. I mean, when you're talking about scamming in the name of charity, that does indeed create victims. It definitely does, you know, and it makes people less likely to go out and to give money to charity. Sounds like other things out there that we've been talking about, creating victims and people, you know, being impacted out there, you know, in the way that they won't help out. Yeah, we've heard that too. So you have this person in there, and they're talking about REKITA. And you notice they don't knight REKITA right off the bat. I mean, that's important to this discussion as well. You know, shouldn't we report that terrible, that fraudulent GoFundMe started by REKITA? Double standards much. So, you know, this person, they point that out that that's not a fraudulent one. Haven't you been paying attention there? And they produce a statement by Vic. I always like this statement too, because it talks about Vic. It talks about his career. Talks about him going out and trying to make amends. You know, anyone that found anything he did offensive and on, he wants to make amends for it. But hey, these folks, they can't have that. Nope, can't have that at all. Also, it talks about charity, which these people, they decided to attack, you know, because the Salvation Army is somehow monstrous. Charity is somehow monstrous when these folks, they want to put a particular brand on it. So, coming back from that, see, here's where you become confused. I don't give a fuck what Vic approved or didn't approve. I want to know what that money is being used for, as Vic has said he wouldn't take charity. Well, it's not charity, it's for litigation. And beyond that, that, I want to make a point on this really quickly. This money that people are giving, the Vic situation is insane, but we're looking at the situation as a whole. People going out and trying to burn lives down. One day, that little forest fire, that little calamity there, it might come for your life and your livelihood as well. And people out here, yeah, they don't want that. They don't want to think that people can be burned down on nothing but 280 character, observations. So people have stood up and they've said, this is enough. Here's the line in the sand. It doesn't have anything to do with charity. So, someone brings up here, continuing that, talking about the money going to law firm for Ty Beard. What do you think it's been doing? Nick just had a stream with him where he'd been living under a rock. So, that person, this is where it starts getting interesting here. Because like I say, you pay attention to the way that these folks, they utilize certain descriptors out there. This right here, this will be called sexual harassment in just a moment. I'll show you a continuation of this conversation, but look at this. So, nope, I just don't care for fake YouTube lawyers and estate planners. It's sad it's going to cost that much to hire an estate planner, and that was the best he could get for representation, because they're all a bunch of entitled Republicans. I mean, right there. If I disagree with you, you're Republicans. If somehow I want to go out and diminish, you vote a specific way. And here I am trying to diminish because, hey, that lawsuit, that litigation, it's going to be interesting to watch. Now, here is where people, they try to shift conversation. And also, again, they add specific descriptors because of two words here. Estate planner, he says, responding to that here. Oh, sweet cheeks. Sweet cheeks. Call me that shit again. That's the exact sort of behavior that got Vic in trouble to begin with. So that's the type of behavior that got Vic in trouble. Going out and utilizing descriptors like sweet cheeks. Oh my God, what a monster. What a terrible, terrible monster. I mean, if that is the way that you see what has transpired here, if that is the world that you want to craft, yeah, what a fun one. So call me that again. Oh, sweet cheeks. So there it goes again. Now this person said, see, I'm smart enough to know better than to get all defensive about it, even though they will in just a moment now, because now you're acting like a child. Now here comes Ron coming in and really showing you what acting like a child looks like. Here he tells them to fill out one of these. Why? Because, well, this is aimed at someone's life and livelihood, and that's the kind of people they are. I want to show you what form that he brings up, too. So this is the form that he connected. Minnesota Office of Lawyers Professional Responsibility Complaint Form. Now, you go through, you look at it, you can see how that's set up and on. You can look at the way that is. I am the client, former client, opposing party, and so on. You look at the complaint form, how that's here. If you're a client or former client, if you're someone other than a client, please state your connection to the lawyer. Well, I was on the internet, and this terrible, terrible lawyer, he called me sweet cheeks. I mean, that is the worst thing ever. And well, a voice actor out there, they told me to file a complaint here, so here I go. I mean, can you imagine that? Jeez, man. So doubling back, you can see exactly where we land here. The originator of said conversation says, oh, shut up. You guys don't know what actually sexual assault or harassment is. And this person says, yes, I do, actually. Being in a conversation with a woman who you don't know from Sunday and calling her, quote unquote, sweet cheeks is a form of verbal sexual harassment. Hashtag claps back. I mean, you see some ignorant statements out there, but this truly takes the cake. And like I say, when you look at all of this in context, what they're trying to say here, utilizing words like sexual harassment, going out and telling people to report someone, report that lawyer out there because I don't like them. I mean, think about that. Again, add that to the Vic situation. This person goes forward too, just for a little bit of fun here. How exactly is being called sweet cheek sexual harassment, someone asks. I mean, I take that as a compliment. I don't know him. He doesn't know me, and it was inappropriate altogether. So I can still get him for misconduct. I can get him. I mean, look at that statement there. Look at what that implies. I'm going to go out and I'm going to get him. Why are you going to get him? Well, because he went out. He utilized a term that I don't like. Therefore, I'm going to brigade and destroy. Amazing stuff when you look at that. Here, we continue with them as well, responding. Also, he doesn't know my pronouns. So that's even worse to just assume. So, ask me about my pronouns. Well, let's ask them about their pronouns. So here is that person's Twitter profile. And if you decide to go out and check this out too, go and check out that soundclick.com with warning, just to say, with definite warning. But here is the way that they describe themselves. I'm an SMOL bean who wears her heart on her sleeve and swears a lot. God, I hate that. I swear. That and y'all is just disgusting to me. But yeah, look at the descriptors here. Look at those personal pronouns. Her. So, I mean, if we're going to go out and wax poetic about descriptors, I would say that this is proof of trying to go out and trying to find some kind of a way to attack someone in current year, trying to deflect away and to have outrage when there's no actual outrage to have. I think that it says plenty about people out there too, because in current year, if you go out, you look at setups like Twitter, you look at how people utilize social media, how they weaponize it. I think that it says plenty about the people attached to places like KICKVIC and even beyond. People that would go out and try to bandy about words like sexual harassment in the context we've seen. You see the type of people that will go out and ruin life and livelihood. You see them very clearly this way. And when you see them, well, that GoFundMe, that litigation, it becomes all the more necessary because these types of folks, they're everywhere. They are out there. They will report people. They will go out and they'll try to get them removed from their lives, from their livelihoods. They will attack their occupations. And of course, there are people out there, again, like Ron, that say, hey, that's okay. Why don't you do this? It says, what did they do behind the scenes? What have they been trying to accomplish? I mean, if you think about them throwing it out there for this, what exactly have those folks been doing behind the scenes? Because I imagine if you looked at complaints these days, they lie a lot anyway. But, you can imagine the lies that they bring forward while trying to attack someone like a Nick REKITA or you or beyond. And they wonder why people like ourselves, we want to use anonymity. We actually want to go out there and we want to talk about the things that we consume as escapism, the things that we pay a premium for. We want to talk about this in context, but we want to be able to do it in a way that doesn't allow people like that to go out and try to destroy your lives. But anyhow, you tell me what you think about this stuff. So if you like this kind of content, if you say to yourself, that umbrella guy, I love what you do. I love your channel. In fact, maybe I'm going to redefine some terms so me and the channel can get a little closer too. Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that lovely? Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for daily notifications. And if you want to go further, if you say to yourself, that umbrella guy, I want to create a whole new speak dictionary, because that's the language of my heart to the channels. Man, isn't that awesome stuff? Check out the links in the description below. Seriously, if you want to check those out, they are definitely a way to get around some of these platforms out there, because these platforms, they don't exactly like you talking about the reality out there. It's quite amazing. So So yeah, check those out. Also, leave comments. I definitely like looking at what you have to say with this stuff. And ending, as I always try to say, I appreciate you folks. These folks out there, those voice actors, the people in other spheres of entertainment, they forget who makes things actually work out for them, who brings money to the table, who makes endeavors possible. For myself, I don't want to forget that. You make this endeavor possible. You make whatever you find interesting. And well, when these folks are leaving that behind, I want to be there and say, I appreciate you because I'm one of you. Anyhow, leave your thoughts on everything. And let me end here by saying thank you. I appreciate it. We'll do it again.